You can review this entire plan, by going to whitehouse.gov. It is so detailed, it is over 198 pages. In complete detail what we're going to do. Our plan starts with mounting an aggressive, safe, and effective vaccination campaign to meet our goal of administering 100 million shots in our first 100 days in office. We're on day one. This will be one of the greatest operational challenges our nation has ever undertaken. And I'm committed to getting it done. We're committed to getting it done. And as I explained last week, we'll move heaven and earth to get more people vaccinated for free and create more places for them to get vaccinated, to mobilize more medical teams to get shots in people's arms, and to increase vaccine supply and get it out the door as fast as possible. Yesterday we got started. We directed the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to start standing up the first federally supported community vaccination centers, with the goal of standing up 100 centers within the next month. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will launch the federal pharmacy program to make vaccines available to communities in their local pharmacies, beginning early within I think by the 7th or 8th of February, in very early February. We'll also task the Department of Health and Human Services to prepare and expand the pool of medical professionals who can administer the vaccine, and ensure we have enough vaccinators, the people doing the vaccines, to meet the nation's needs, and quickly. In addition to this effort, our administration will be asking Congress to fund for the funds to grow the public health workforce. We're also going to take immediate steps to partner with governors, mayors, and other local officials who we've been talking to all along, who are on the front lines of this fight. We directed FEMA to establish a COVID response liaison for each state, which means every state will have a point person at the federal level to maximize cooperation between the federal government and the states, and where it falls short, to be made known immediately. This is a model we used to respond to Hurricane Sandy, which I was deeply involved with. And in just a few moments, I'm going to sign a declaration to immediately begin reimbursing states 100% for the use of their National Guards to help COVID relief efforts, something Democrats and Republican governors alike have called for. But the brutal truth is, it's going to take months before we can get the majority of Americans vaccinated. So, while we increase vaccinations, we're going to take steps necessary now to slow the spread of the disease as well. One of our 100-day challenges is asking the American people to mask up for the first 100 days, the next 99 days. The masks have become a partisan issue, unfortunately. It's a patriotic act. But for a few months, to wear a mask, no vaccines. The fact is that they're the single best thing we can do. They're more important than the vaccine because they take time to work. And if we do this as Americans, the experts say, by wearing a mask from now until April, we'd save more than 50,000 lives going forward. 50,000 lives. So I'm asking every American to mask up for the next 100 days. Yesterday, I signed an executive action that requires mask and social distancing on federal property. Today, we'll be signing additional executive action to extend masking requirements on interstate travel, like on trains, planes, and buses. And in light of the new COVID variants that we're learning about, we are instituting now a new measure for individuals flying into the United States from other countries. In addition to wearing masks, everyone flying to the United States from another country will need to test before they get on that plane, before they depart, and quarantine when they arrive in America. Our national plan launches a full-scale wartime effort to address the supply shortages by ramping up production of protective equipment, syringes, needles, and man. When I say wartime, people kind of look at me like, wartime? Well, as I said last night, 400,000 Americans have died. That's more than have died in all of World War II. 400,000. This is a wartime undertaking. Today, I'm signing an executive action to use the Defense Production Act and all other available authorities to direct all federal agencies and private industry to accelerate the making of everything that's needed to protect, test, vaccinate, and take care of our people. Well, we've already identified suppliers, and we're working with them on the move the plan forward. But look, our strategy includes a plan to safely reopen schools and businesses while protecting our workers. Today, we're directing the Department of Education and the Department of Health and Human Services to immediately provide schools and communities with clear guidance and resources to safely reopen the school and child care centers. We're putting, and by the way, when you do that, think of all the people who get back to work. Be able to get back to work. All the mothers and single fathers who are staying home taking care of their children. We're going to put full force of the federal government behind expanding testing by launching a COVID-19 pandemic testing board. This effort will ensure that we get testing to where it is needed and where it's needed most, helping schools and businesses reopen safely and protecting the most vulnerable, like those who live in long-term care facilities. And for the millions of workers, many of whom are people of color, immigrants and low-wage workers, who continue to put their lives on the line to keep this country going through the pandemic, I'm calling for the enforcement of more stringent worker safety standards so that you are better protected from this virus while you have to continue to work to protect the rest of us. Our plan helps protect those most at risk and works for everyone of all races and urban and rural communities alike. Today, I'm formalizing the Health Equity Task Force that we announced in the transition, led by the brilliant Dr. Marcela Nunez-Smith, who ensures that it's going to ensure that equality is at the core of every decision we make. That includes addressing vaccine hesitancy and building trust in communities, as well as fighting disinformation campaigns that are already underway. Above all, our plan is to restore public trust. We will make sure that scientists and public health experts will speak directly to you. That's why you're going to hear a lot more from Dr. Fauci again. Not from the president, but from the real, genuine experts and scientists. We're going to make sure they work free from political interference and they make decisions strictly based on science and healthcare alone. Science and health alone, not with the political consequences of it. And Vice President Harris and I and our entire administration will always be honest and transparent with you about both the good news and the bad. We will level with you when we make a mistake. We'll straight up say what happened. And I said at the outset, the honest truth is we're still in a dark winter of this pandemic. It's going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to take many months to get where we need to be. Progress from our plan will take time to measure as people getting infected today. They don't show up as the case counts for weeks. And those who perish from this disease die weeks after their exposure. Despite the best intentions, we're going to face setbacks, which I will always explain to you. But I also know we can do this if we come together. That's why, ultimately, our plan is based on unity and all of us acting as one nation. It requires families and neighbors looking out for one another, healthcare providers, and business and civic and religious and civil rights organizations, and unions, all relying together on a common purpose with urgency and
Ralph, get out of there.
Requires reasserting our global leadership, which is why I took an action yesterday for the United States to rejoin the World Health Organization and to reestablish our Global Pandemic Office in the National Security Council. It requires Congress coming together to provide the necessary funding in the COVID relief package and the American Rescue Plan that I will soon be sending to the Congress. I know these bold, practical steps will not come cheap, but failing to do so will cost us so much more dearly. I look forward to working with members of both parties in the Congress. We're in a national emergency. It's time we treat it like one. Together, the national plan as the United States of America. As I said yesterday in my inaugural address, there are moments in history when more is asked of a particular generation, more is asked of as Americans another time. We are in that moment now. Just as good a measure whether we're up to the task. I believe we are. The American people have given so much already, but I believe they're ready to set big goals and pursue them with courage, conviction, and honesty, because the health of the nation is literally at stake, not hyperbole. I'm convinced the American people are ready as well to spare no effort, no expense to get this done. What could be more important? The more people we vaccinate, and the faster we do it, the sooner we can put this pandemic behind us, and the sooner we can build our economy back and build it back better, and get back to our lives and to our loved ones. We can do this. We can do this if we stand together, as fellow Americans, as the United States of America. But God bless those lost souls in this pandemic and their families already left behind. And may God bless all of you on the front lines who define the best of who we are as Americans. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to go over this desk and sign negative actions. But again, this is the plan. This is the plan. You can go online and get it. I know it's a lot of heavy reading, but it's all laid out in stark detail. This executive order I'm signing is strengthening supply chain. This next one is keeping people safe. This next one is ensuring equitable response. I guess I should take this out this way. Then you're going to talk about it. Can you do that? There you go. This next one is my reference about traveling in America. This is the promoting safe travel. This next one is setting up the pandemic testing board. Thank you. This next one is studying the safety.
I think you already signed for the checks.
I say they won't do it until March.
I think he just signed it. Who knows? It could change.
I hope so.
Containing COVID data that has to be maintained and recorded.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Couple days, good $1,400 check. Yeah, I'll get that money in your account tomorrow morning.
Is
Before I
making
leave.
sure that
Alright.
and FEMA support is available.
We'll have that money over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
This next one relates to expanding access to care and treatment for COVID-19. And the last one is our global response directive. When I announced it, you all said it's not possible. Come on.
Something happened. What happened? Is he just evacuating or something?
But this guy can be anything.
Well, there you have Joe Biden getting his first Give Me a Break man from the Oval Office, signing executive orders. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Trace Gallagher in from Mark McCallum, and this is the story. The president, as you saw there, signing another round of
He ain't
executive orders.
president. Come on. I got you know what you can do anything.
We met in high school. Is that him? Yeah.
Come on, give me a break.
Evaluation. It was on screen.